We move into the top cut, just 32 still competing. Let's begin our feature match. Starting with the blue chair, Javier Soto from Tampa, Florida. And he is wearing his lucky Jinzo sweatshirt again. Now to the red chair, Kaihuang, hailing from Alhambra, California, cosplaying as Arius the Labyrinth Butler. And this cosplay costs hundreds and is tailor-made. Looking both fantastic, but who wins? Let's duel. Casters?
Thank you so much, Jackie. It's good to see Javier again. We featured him yesterday as well. Again, that beautiful Jinzo sweatshirt. I am very jealous of it. But he's going to be piloting that Mystial Fiendsmith Malice deck, as well as Kaihuang piloting Labyrinth, as he is aptly dressed for it.
And that's the real thing you have to think about. Like, not only did this duelist have to get ready just like everybody else, but they had to fully suit up and completely get the makeup and the hair ready and everything. That's a competitor who knows exactly. They're locked in. They know what to do. So I wonder if there's an extra little intimidation factor when you're fighting against the literal duel monster you're playing.
I mean, you might know this. We know we have the Duel Academy for all those people out there that want to study hard and get ready for YCSs. Is there a dual cosmetology school for all the cosplayers out there?
Well, I think I'm ready to apply to go teach there for sure. I have done this before. Like, I have actually done the full cosplay run, and it does add a little bit to it because, you know, and there's no slide, that shade on Javier there wearing the hoodie, but it's comfortable, right? He's just sitting there. He's dueling like he did every single day. It is completely different to be in clothing that's restrictive and have to have that certain air and that certain vibe to it. So, well, maybe that keeps you a little bit more locked in. Maybe you're an even better duelist because you can do all that, but I guess we'll have to see.
I mean, Javier definitely has the poetic advantage, being that he's wearing a Jinzo hoodie against a potential trap deck.
Oh, that is true. That is true.
Maybe he has, like, already the mental game won because he's basically telling Arius there, oh, you won't be able to use your traps maybe.
Oh, goodness. Certainly feeling energy there, sort of just having the eyes closed as he shuffles, just ready to go. It's so cool to see this because it's a reminder, you know, some people think, oh, there's somebody who's cosplaying. They don't know what the real card game is. Wrong. This is the top 32 of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Championship Series. He is ready to go.
Yeah, notably, Kaihuang went undefeated in day one.
Absolutely undefeated in day one, and still, you know, maybe not at the top of the bracket, but still could win. It could be our champion. I don't think we've ever had a cosplayer champion before.
That'd be super exciting. But yeah, both these players are no longer in the Swiss rounds. If they lose, they're done. They'll be going home.
Yeah, that is the problem with the single elimination format. We want to give everybody a trophy, but unfortunately there's only one. This isn't a team YCS, and even then that would just be for one team. But seemingly locked in, ready, and interesting again to have like the monocle on. I wonder if it's actually got any glass magnifier in there so he's unable to see his cards. But either or, great cosplay and great duel in action ahead.
And thinking about the matchup more in particular, we saw that Javier was piloting the Mystial Fiendsmith Malice version of the deck, which has a really strong control factor to it that maybe other Malice decks don't. And we're not quite sure yet what version of Labyrinth Kai is on, if it's a pure trap version or if it's like the sort of combo Labyrinth version that plays the furniture cards. It'll be super exciting to see how this matchup unfurls, I think.
Well, it's definitely good to have him back up here on the stage as we sort of zoom in on the dice. It's time for a dice roll of Game 1 of our top cut of the top 32 here at YCS Houston.
Yes, please.
This will be really important because essentially if Kai... Well, actually, it might be less important if Kai is playing the furnitures because then he might be able to like use Arius himself to activate traps for the opponent's turn. But he got an 11, meaning Kai's going to get the first choice. I'm assuming he's going to want to go first. There we see the duelist fist bump. They're going to draw their opening hands. It's time to duel.
Certainly is. I think we did see some of the furniture-based gameplay yesterday on the backup stream, but I might be hallucinating here. We'll have to see straight from the duels themselves.
I mean, it sure would be a crime if he's cosplaying as Arius and Arius is not in his deck. But there you see the X-Trap coming out as the beginning of main phase 1 has begun. He's going to randomly get rid of up to 6 cards from his extra deck and then draw 1 card for every 3 cards he gets rid of.
Makes me wonder if he's using simultaneous equation cannons. Could we really see a cosplayer resolve one of the hardest Galaxy Brain cards in the game? Well, let's go ahead and draw for the Pot of Extravagance here. Getting 2 cards here. Lots of monsters, very few traps.
And there we see the Ariana coming down. Going to be able to search for a Labyrinth card here.
So as we shuffle through, we do get to see that it is a very monster-heavy. Yeah, there's Kuklok.
That shows that it's definitely going to be the combo Labyrinth version. You can tell Kai is excited. He's done this time and time again. He's going to use that Kuklok's ability to be able to activate a trap card this turn. He's chaining to that the ability of Dragoneer, getting rid of transaction rollback.
Oh, wow. Going to get a little refund here, but that also means every trap card that hits the graveyard is going to get a double use at some point.
Yep, there we see Big Welcome Labyrinth coming down from Kai. This will be able to let him get into his bigger monsters. There we see the Coup Clock coming back out from the graveyard because the card was set.
Activate Big Welcome Labyrinth to summon from deck or hand deck or graveyard, and bounce one.
And then Javier just going, yep, that's going to be fine. This probably is going to get regular Lovely here, so that way we can get the potential hand rip from Javier. That'd be pretty cool.
Chainlink 1, Lovely Labyrinth.
Shows you the deck still is very viable, obviously competing in a format dominated by things like Ryzel, Malice, Blue Eyes, even Tombkeeper. Somehow this deck managed to get up here, so let's see what it's all about.
Yeah, I know the talk of the town has been Tombkeeper all weekend, but hey, Kaihuang is proving there's other trap decks in this game that we can totally utilize.
Right,
so here we have the roll. Ooh, it's going to be the last. Oh yeah, we have to reroll for 6. Oh, we got to keep rerolling for 6, guys. Sorry
just
about it.
Just that
good. It looks like it was 4.
All right, so destroying that card.
And that is Bestial Jewess Worm. Wow. That could have been very important in case any Labyrinth monsters hit the graveyard to keep them from coming back.
Well, there was an opportunity technically to do that earlier when the monsters hit the field, but I guess he just wanted to hold out and hope the Bestials did not get hit.
Maybe he wanted to save it for like some of the bigger monsters that might get recycled later, or like Stovey Torby specifically.
Well, too little too late now. We'll see how this continues to play out as Kaihuang continues.
Speaking of Torby, we're going to use his effect, discarding this card and the Dragoneer to get another Labyrinth trap card.
Take a look through the deck. Always fascinated with which cool traps Labyrinth players use. Did not see any simultaneous equation cans, but we do get Welcome Labyrinth here. Nice to have the Butler bring the Butler's favorite card.
Yeah, I feel like the combo version doesn't have the extra deck space as maybe the trap deck version does to be able to play the equation cannon, because you kind of do want to go into Chaos Angel sometimes. I've seen a lot of Labyrinth players do, and that card's really important.
Oh, the numbers are definitely on his side for that.
Oh, you're going to cut?
Oh, I think Kai just said pass turn. Look at that. He's like, I got my 2 face downs. I'm ready to go.
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's see how Javier gets into this duel. He's got that Lucky Jinzo hoodie. Let's see if he can beat down the trap deck.
Stand by me.
Yeah.
Going to his main phase 1. I feel like for this kind of board texture, he really needs to worry about specifically the Lovely and then the potential of a Lady coming out of Kaihuang's deck. Just trying to think about all the potential interactions we might have.
Well, you are a Malice main yourself. What are you most worried about when you're going up against Labyrinth? Is it just the fact they can keep clearing the monsters off your field and sending them back to the hand?
Well, it also like the potential for them to put trap cards in their graveyard and resolve them with rollback that I'm not aware of, if that makes sense, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's totally possible that we could see something wild like something that like stops us from summoning or banishes our cards before I'm able to bring them back. But here we see the Lady coming down. This will be a really interesting way for him to get even more trap cards that are pretty much all throughout his deck, and we don't know the kinds of potential techs he could be playing, much like how in the Tombkeeper deck you can just play any one trap card you want thanks to Temple of the Kings. Kai can play so many one-of tech cards that, depending on the matchup, could be really devastating.
Well, we'll see how this game continues. The other thing that's kind of interesting is, depending on your Labyrinth matchup knowledge, some people do not interrupt the win effect of Lady Labyrinth of the Silver Castle. Some people do that, so they kind of overcommit in order to keep those resources from getting away. But let's see what happens here as we just use Fiend's Smith Track to add Fabled Lure and likely discard it so we can grab it back.
Something really important about this interaction is that Javier chose to shotgun the Fuelos and sort of force Kai to activate the Welcome Labyrinth before maybe he was waiting for a more opportune time to do so. And so now if he does summon any more monsters during Javier's turn, he'll get extra draws.
No response.
So no response there. We're going to go ahead and link summon here into Fiendsmith's sequence. Or excuse me, Fiendsmith's Requiem.
Just the other machine here. Or I guess they're not really machines, but they're like items that have been created by the Fiendsmiths.
He definitely is a busy engraver, that's for sure.
So busy is going to be coming into play right now so we can get the send. That could be a really fun way to force the big welcome. No, we're going to get the Lacrima. Well, Lacrima can also get engraver, I suppose.
Yeah.
And she is going to get the engraver. So play kind of settling down here. Both duelists kind of relaxing on the tempo here.
And then, yeah, I feel like, honestly, this could be, if Javier plays it in his deck, a Chaos Angel line to be able to banish some cards. But I believe the Lady protects things from being targeted, correct? Or just herself?
Herself if there's a set card.
Right. But other cards can be.
Correct. And then she also can't be destroyed by card effects if there's a set card. So that could really come up during open game states.
Yep, so here we see Necroquip Princess, one of the most honorary Fiendsmith cards if I ever saw one.
Beautiful card, too, by the way. We're taking a look at the art, and That is not just, you know, a one of. Oh, wow.
Ooh, Dominus Impulse on that Engraver, effect to summon back, shuffling back to Lurie. That still happens, but the Engraver does not come back to play. This could be huge if Javier does not have a Malice name because he's kind of denied a Link 2.
And we definitely didn't see the Dominus Impulse coming there. Of course, it is a normal trap card and could be used later in the duel with transaction rollback.
And in a deck that's all darks, it's really fine to just activate it from the hand. No big deal. Isn't Chaos Angel also a dark?
I believe it is, yeah.
Wow.
So just perfect attribute lining up.
There we see Malice and Underground. That's actually really huge from Javier. I don't know if Kai has a way to stop this because he's already used the Dominus Impulse.
No response.
Really important to note that Javier has not really revealed that he's on Malice against Kaihuang specifically, so he probably didn't see this coming. If he did, he might have saved that Impulse for one of these Malice names summon back from the graveyard, from the Banish Zone.
We may have seen Javier on stream, but when you're actually entered in the YCS, it's kind of difficult to watch the feed.
Ooh, here we see transaction rollback. I believe that means Kai's going to be paying, I believe, it's 2,000 life points or half of his life points?
It's half the life points.
Half life points. Going to go down to 4,000. And then White Rabbit's going to come down as Javier's normal summon. So transaction rollback copied the effect of Impulse to stop Dormouse from being summoned, but we have White Rabbit in the hand.
Makes perfect sense. This is going to be kind of an awkward matchup for Javier because those normal trap cards do trigger the effect of Lady Labyrinth of the Silver Castle. So every time you're trying to activate that, you also are risking one of those cards being set.
Here we see the GWCO 6, which could get you access to that Dormouse and you can use its effect to banish. That'd be really huge for Javier to keep playing, but like you said, it is a normal trap card.
It's kind of a weird interaction there. You're like, oh wait, I'm helping my opponent. This is awkward.
Yeah, unfortunately, you wouldn't be able to chain block with Dormouse because it would happen on a separate chain link as an ignition effect.
So Javier takes a look through the graveyard here, thinking about the extra deck. We are going to go ahead and activate the GWCO 6.
And we're going to chain the Lady, like you said. This will get another normal trap card from Kai's deck. And we're going to chain the Coup Clocks effect to be able to activate that set card that we play this turn.
Wow, he could grab something like a Destructive Cannon, Dharma Cannon?
That's really good against Link decks for sure, yeah. Kind of just like wipes them off the board.
Oh, and I see it, yeah.
You're psychic, look at you.
Just play a lot of Labyrinth, that's all.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So on a new chain link, we're going to use White Rabbit's effect, pay 300 life points, go down to 74, and summon it back out to the field.
Yeah.
Oh, I see the backjack in the hand. Plenty of shenanigans left in Kaihuang's turn. Remember, this is definitely an hour turn deck if you ever saw one.
Oh, yeah. The combo version of Labyrinth is really cool. Being able to set trap cards, and activate them in the same turn is always impressive. So there we see the big welcome. That'll be really huge for Lovely, because we'll be able to return a card to our hand and then be able to get a pop from either the hand or field. That can get rid of the Dormouse and stop its ignition effect from ever going off.
Oh, wow. Put the Coup Clock back into the hand to use it next turn.
Pop, 2 to draw.
And then we're going to also chain Ariana to get a draw. And then we're going to chain Dracula to summon back. And then
An ironic
Torby.
chain 4.
Ooh, that is a crazy chain there from Kai.
I'm going to pop. No, I'll drop it.
I think you just said pop Dormouse. Is that what I heard?
Well, he has to draw first because, remember, Lovely does not target, so he still has time to make decisions. But
100%.
the Dormouse is going to go.
I'll pop in, so it's
Revealing that he
off.
drew the extravagance.
I like how he looked at us.
Yeah, he was like, this is for you guys. Thank you, Kai. I appreciate you understanding the show's happening.
It's heads tail.
Oh, he chose the hand, and he's going to just randomly pick one.
Yeah.
Sniper.
Oh, and he went for the coin!
We love a coin.
Don't get a lot of coin flips in Yu-Gi-Oh! These days, so nice to see it. What a showman. But Javier still is putting in work here. Oh, and he's going to concede.
Ooh,
Wow.
he doesn't want to reveal what that card was, and he wants to give himself as much likelihood as possible to win this game on the following turns. But amazing job from Kai, just showing us the power of the Labyrinth strategy.
Certainly knows exactly what he is doing, and we didn't even get to see him use Arias' effect, but I don't think he needs to. The Butler knows exactly how to deliver what he has been told. So great stuff. It shows you that Labyrinth is still a very powerful deck in this format and does have a good matchup against the Malice. Of course, getting the double Dominus Impulse and being able to have the cannon ready. Oh, good stuff.
Oh, really huge there. That transaction rollback honestly was huge for Kai, because if he didn't have access to that, he had no way to stop the Dormouse from coming back, and then Javier would have had all that extension he did anyway, and he could have gone to a Link 3. And once you get to a Link 3 as Malice, you can win the game in almost any board state, because Cryptor is just that powerful.
And so now we're going to get to see the flip of this. It really just depends on what Kaihuang's ultimate or opening hand is, because there's a version of this where you can still get a Dharma Cannon off during your opponent's first turn, they get those plays set up, 2 monsters, maybe it's a soft open for Malice trying to go for the Lizard Haggardos. If those monsters are flip face down, they are not link materials.
Yeah, the really fun thing about specifically the monster version of Labyrinth that play the furnitures is that it gives you much more powerful abilities going second. It gives you the Arias, it gives you the furnitures that can get you your trap cards and your engine during your opponent's turn, and if you draw the combos that let you play them that turn, you can stymie your opponent pretty well with just your engine cards. But because you're playing so much of your monsters as your engine, you have less room for non-engine, things like Ash Blossom, things like Effect Veiler, things that also stop your opponent during your turn but have less steps involved.
Absolutely. It's going to be one of these things where hopefully getting just that perfect hand gets Javier back into the game, but there's just going to be so much more resistance. Again, when we came into this weekend, the format discussion was, am I going to add more interactions from the hand, or am I going to add more things that just clear the field? And we've seen both of those throughout the tournament. But right now, kind of, when you're playing Labyrinth, you have access to both. You have a soft board clear, flipping everything face down feels just as good. And being able to do it on the opponent's turn when you haven't even played yet, a sort of turn 0, this is going to be quite the match. But again, Javier does get the chance to go first, hopefully able to just jump in and sort of cement his path to victory just a little bit further than he has so far.
Something I'd really love to see from Javier's side here is something like the Fiends with Engine paying more dividends as like an end board piece rather than like an enabler for more Malice combos, because ending on Desiree against the trap deck feels really strong, because being able to kind of stop them from overcommitting, like spending 2 cards to activate 1 trap and then just like negating it anyway feels really advantageous for Javier as a way to just like close this game down. But we did see Kai, I think some cards from his side deck were things like the Molcharmies to try to incentivize Javier from not comboing off as hard as he normally could. So let's see how this round goes for sure.
Looks like the duelists are locked in. They have presented, cut their decks, drawn their opening hands, and now they're just waiting for the go-ahead from the judge staff there. And again, hopefully the Jinzo hoodie pays off. If you're a stan of Javier, obviously you're cheering as hard as you can. So speaking of cheering, let's go to Game 2 of the top 32 of YCS Houston.
This very well could be Javier's last game here at YCS Houston, but he's going to do everything in his power to make sure that is not the case. Let's see how it goes. It looks like he has chosen to go first. They're in the main phase, it looks like.
Seems like.
Starting off with Fiendsmith Track, that is a great way to start off, especially with your Malice cards in hand potentially as well, to be able to guarantee any Link 3 plays while also getting some resilience against things like Nibiru or force your opponent's hand.
Taking a quick look at the hand there, it doesn't seem like there's anything to set up an elaborate trap play on Kaihuang's side. I do see Arias, the Labyrinth Butler. Looks like maybe a Shendrag Leer, but nothing that's really going to get anything done right now.
I didn't know there was a Yu-Gi-Oh card that's also a mirror. That's so neat. Kai's just looking at himself in his hand. How funny.
Oh, good stuff, good stuff. But speaking of good stuff, looks like things are turning up for Javier here as he brings out Lacrima the Crimson Tears.
Yep, this will send the Engraver. We saw this in Game 1, but now it might be a different story. Rather than trying to break a board, we're going to be building our own in the process. Engraver being sent here, I imagine it's going to be quickly summoned with the Swiftness, putting that Lurie back into the deck to be used later.
Both of these decks are designed for long grinds. Many duelists, as they choose, if they're going to play like a pure Ryzel deck or maybe a Ryzel Fiendsmith deck, the Fiendsmith deck gives you better plays as the duel continues. But if your opponent does the same, then you're kind of in trouble.
Ooh, there's Kai setting the Trap Trick from his hand. That may as well be any trap card in his deck, I'll tell you that much.
And it can be activated this turn.
Thanks to the Arias' effect.
And then the trap it gets can be activated this turn from Trap Trick. This is still anybody's game.
Yeah, Durham Karmakan, like you said, is more than on the table. So Javier needs to be really careful when he summons his Link monsters because they are not safe. So there we see the Lurie going back, and we're getting the Engraver. Last time we saw this go into a Necroquip plus an Engraver play to try to go for a Link 2 play. Let's see if he goes down that line again, but this time is uninterrupted, hopefully. Yeah, if you're Javier, you're like, okay, how do I play around what I know is Trap Trick and what I know is Durham Karmakan, because we saw it in Game 1. It didn't get activated, but we knew he had it.
The threat of it is always there, especially with Trap Trick. But it looks like we are going to go into Fiendsmith sequence here.
Okay, we're going straight into sequence. If we can get to Desiree, we can just negate the Trap Trick. So we're kind of going to force Kaihuang's hand on Summon of Desiree here to activate the Trap Trick, because if we can just equip the sequence, we'll be good to go.
Well, let's see. We've got the Desiree.
And this is all before Javier has used his normal summon, so if Kai is forced to use this Trap Trick, he's locked out of using traps for the rest of the turn, and then Javier is maybe just free to play afterwards.
Kaihuang takes a look at the empty graveyard other than the one Fiendsmith track, looks at the Trap Trick, and I think we're going for it.
Yep.
Trap Trick.
Yeah, because you just can't let this sequence get equipped to this Desiree for free. Setting the Desiree feels more than good enough, but I forget if Karma Cannon does not unflip at the end of the turn, right? It's not. It's
That's
not like
correct.
it is not like Book of Eclipse. They stay booked, but if they do not get, if they cannot be flipped face down, they just get destroyed instead.
No, this is definitely a powerful sequence of his own here, as he's going to be able to flip these monsters face down. And since the Link monster can't be flipped face down, it's going to get sent to the graveyard.
Yep, so there we go. The Desiree will get flipped, and the sequence will go to grave. That does deny Javier a Link 2, which means if he just has a regular Malice name like Chessy Cat, his turn is good to go. But there we have the talent. Because he activated Arias this turn, we're going to reveal the hand. It's Stovey Torby. Oh, he's chaining the Torby, discarding the rollback, and revealing the lovely Labyrinth. I was like, wait. Hold on. Did they change Talent's effect to be Delinquent Duo all of a sudden? I didn't think so. No. Wow, that's really heads up from Kai there. And then we're going to be able to set the Big Welcome. We're revealing the Lovely. The Lovely gets shuffled back in the deck, but Kai has no problem with that. He has Big Welcome for his next turn, but no cards in hand. His turn hasn't even started yet, and he has 0 cards already.
Well, we talk about, looping of the hand, right? Using card effects to go ahead and discard card after card after card. Kaihuang did to himself, and he's got a stacked graveyard, plenty of great effects in there, and a very powerful trap card at the ready. And the only thing Javier can do is set. I think we're going to see a pass after this.
No, you forgot it's a Malice deck.
That's true.
Setting a card is basically showing I have the nuts.
That is true. That is true. All right, so getting the Malice P Dormouse here. Let's go ahead and banish the Malice White Rabbit.
Yeah, this is an age as old as time right here, this story. We're going to go White Rabbit. White Rabbit will be paying the 300 life points to summon itself. We're going to be setting another trap card from deck. I wonder what that face down is for Javier.
Look, paying half your life points to go ahead and redo the Karma Cannon again with the transaction rollback.
That's right. Trap Trick only stops you from activating traps in the field, doesn't it? It does not stop you from using effects in the graveyard. And we're going to be reactivating that Karma Cannon, it looks like.
Flipping it face down.
And you cannot link summon using face down monsters, unfortunately.
No, you cannot. They'd have to make a Malice Fusion monster, but we'll save that for 2030.
Oh, Javier's asking how the chain would resolve, I think. Because if he's able to have the set card and then, like, on a new chain, rollback will copy Daruma Karma Cannon, he can chain Jiudusio 6 to that.
That is true.
But I don't think that's how it works. I believe rollback, when it copies, will just use it as, like, chain 2 here.
It does use it in the same chain link. That is correct.
Yeah.
It replaces that part of the chain link with the effect you copied.
100%, right. So that means Javier is just debating here what face down he should go for. Because if he gets rid of his mouse monsters being booked, means they can't be banished with the trap cards either, unfortunately. Because I believe they need to be able to know their Malice monsters.
They lose their Malice name tag, that's for sure.
Ooh, double rollback was Kai's hand. You mentioned, like, all Kai really needs on his turn is a way to activate some powerful trap cards, and he can totally stymie Javier, and we're seeing it right now.
Just incredible play there. And still has the Arias, the Labyrinth Butler, in the graveyard, able to special summon himself to the field.
Yes, literally. He'd be like, I'm going to summon myself. Is that okay?
Is he just going to stand on the table then?
Well, I did Trap Trick. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, maybe Trap Trick does?
No, it should just be the activation. I think it may be just the shuffling of the deck here.
Yeah.
In main phase.
Yes, exactly. I went back in on stuff, is what he meant. I was like, no, you can activate your rollback. You already did it.
Definitely a dizzying duel, that's for sure. We're going to draw.
Did we just draw the Lovely?
I think we got the Lovely
did we just draw
back.
The Lovely? That's a little unfortunate there for Kai.
Not helpful.
Now, it is worth noting that, on Javier's next turn.
Oh, he's revealing. We said this is funny. I think he's about to special summon it from his hand. Oh, maybe not.
You definitely want to get Lady here so you can get another trap card, surely, right?
True. Oh, but the Ariana for the bounce.
Of course.
Yeah.
I forgot Big Welcome always has to bounce. And if you have no cards, it's got to come to you.
But he does get to normal summon now.
Yeah, and it's Ariana, one of the best normal summons in his deck. And Torby will come out because the card is added back to the hand due to a trap effect.
Feels like you're never down and out in Labyrinth. You're just one furniture piece away.
There's all this advantage, and we're just seeing so many recycling of resources all throughout this tournament. I feel like the grind game has been ever present during this event.
We go through sort of different formats where sometimes it's all about establishing a field of monsters that say no. I love that this format is about just playing and playing and playing.
Yeah, it's more of a format of, oh no, I'm going to keep going anyway.
Speaking of keep going, take a look at the graveyard there. Not too much of interest really on either side. Fiendsmith tracked active on Javier's side and some traps that could be used with a transaction rollback. The Big Welcome Labyrinth can't be used this turn because you can only use each effect once per turn and only one of those effects once per turn.
Kai does need to be a little bit careful here because I'm not sure how he outs the face down Desiree, because even if the Desiree does get like destroyed or something and sent to the graveyard, Javier will be able to send one of Kai's cards to the graveyard in response to that.
Absolutely.
So that could be a really good thing for him.
Well, hopefully this is a question he has asked himself at some point during the tournament.
Yep, so now we're going to grab Lady here.
We already activated Labyrinth effects. That's coming right out at Kai's pleasure.
Yep, it looks like we're Yep, you're just using the effect right now to summon out. Does Javier have an impulse of his own? That'd be really fun.
If it was set, that would be super, super good, but doesn't look like he does. Gonna go and set that monster. There's no set cards on the field, so it could be destroyed and targeted.
And it is forced to summon in defense mode, very notably.
Battle phase.
We're gonna go battle phase and have Ariana attack. I would assume the Dormouse, but we know Javier has YCS 6, meaning any mouse name you get rid of, he can just bring back at the end phase. So it's a little rough to get rid of White Rabbit because that could get him more trap cards if he has any. But he's gonna go for the White Rabbit. It looks like.
Wait, this is the White Rabbit. I'll hit White Rabbit.
Yeah. That is White Rabbit. It'll be going to the graveyard, but that means it can be back with YCS 6 if needed.
Second deck.
So we've been talking about how great the Labyrinth deck is against Malice, but Malice actually has a lot of in-archetype outs for all these different situations, including the Lady Labyrinth of the Silver Castle, because the targeting issue is not an issue, and neither is Destruction, because you have non-targeting Banish.
Now, it is rough if the Lovely was in play, because then you can't respond to trap cards. But right now, Lovely's not in play, so Javier does not need to worry about that. But we did set regular Welcome Labyrinth just now, and then Kai just proceeds to end his turn. Javier probably just debating if he wants to use his YCS 6 at the end phase. He does not. He's going to drop return. He could just go flip summon, honestly, flip summon Desiree, and then just like first action, bring back sequence seems really good. And equip it to it, so you have the double negate.
I think that's what we're going to do, taking an eye look at the Fiendspit Desiree face down and the Malice Dormouse face down. It is a trap deck, so you got to be careful what you flip up first, but take a look at the graveyard. There is that single bounce there from the big Welcome Labyrinth to the grave and the Arias.
Yeah, plenty. And technically, like, if we do end up getting a big Welcome online at any point, Stovey Torby comes back too, but so far, not.
Looks like we're banishing to bounce.
Yep, there it is.
Does mean Desiree could come back.
Summon out.
But without any other Fiends with the cards, being able to put back that sequence is going to be really rough for Javier. There we have Torby coming back, like I said, because the card was bounced due to a trap effect. And then we draw a card.
Wait, I think that was another cannon.
Not the best to have in this situation, because unless he has another Arias access, he won't be able to set it this turn.
Well, Javier may be able to run away with this duel by just punching through with this Malice monster. So we'll activate the effect of Malice P Dormouse to banish one Malice name.
Yeah, another really good card, specifically in the Malice deck for this matchup, is going to be White Binder, because you can banish all of the Labyrinth cards. Traps, monsters, doesn't really matter. They're all victim to the Queen.
That's good.
Battle of two queens, I just realized.
Yes, the Malice Queens and the Labyrinth Queens. But here we have Chessie coming down. This could just be the last name that Javier has besides White Rabbit and Dormouse, because this deck plays a much smaller Malice engine, notably, than other Malice versions. But if he does have another Malice name in hand, whether it's a spell card or a monster, he could represent a lot of strength here by getting a free draw too.
And I realize we haven't seen a Bestial in a long time here, so maybe running a slimmer Bestial package as well. Certainly helpful to maybe get rid of that Arias and have another body on the field, but nowhere in sight. So Javier taking a look at that face down card, thinking about it, and yep.
Ooh, it's the MTP07 to be able to search for that Malice name that he needs to either summon from hand or banish and get more value. That's going to be really huge if Javier can resolve this.
Chain to set a trap.
It is a normal trap card, so he's going to be chaining the Lady effect here to get another set face down.
Just a very weird match for sure. Something that certainly is going to be common, you know, as the days go by. Labyrinth isn't going anywhere. There's always one really good Labyrinth player at every YCS. They don't usually look this fashionable, but they're definitely out there.
Yes. So there you see the Dormouse being added with this MTP07. Because there is no Malice Link monster in play, you will not get the non-target banish, but you do get a free Rhoda, essentially. And now, I think because we haven't used Dormouse's effect to summon from the banish this turn, we're going to use Chessie Cat here to get the extra body on board and get a free draw too. Maybe draw some of those Bestials you're talking about, which would be really useful for Javier here for either extending or stymieing his opponent. This match is far from over.
Well, Javier keeping the cards close to the chest, didn't get a chance to see what he drew, but we are going to pay 300 to bring the Malice P Dormouse back.
Yeah, if you're a Javier, do you try to go for a straight Link 3? Oh, but Kai's not giving him the option to. He's going to go straight for that Welcome Labyrinth to summon. My assumption is it's going to summon from the deck here. Yes. This could be, what, Ku-Clock? This could be... Oh, it's going to be Arias. He's going to summon himself the hard way.
Just walking up on the table there.
Yep, and then we're going to use the Arias' effect. And he's not going to be able to...
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Then he can set the Karma Cannon from his hands.
And he can activate it this turn. And Javier does not know that the card he drew off Ariana is Karma Cannon. I was like, how is Kai going to get access to another Arias this turn? Duh, he can just add it from his deck to the field.
There it
Labyrinth.
is.
But notably, Javier has not normal summoned. But To my knowledge, he also has no other Malice names that can be summoned from deck, but he does have the GWCO 6.
We didn't see what he drew. Maybe he's lucky enough to have gotten another Malice name.
For a normal summon, for sure, yeah. Or Engraver.
Yep. That'll do it.
Engraver is more than good enough. And it is worth noting that all of Kai's monsters did get booked as well, and to my knowledge, he has no more floating effects because the other effective Big Welcome has already been activated, and I believe you can only use one effective Big Welcome per turn.
That is right.
So that set one is not going to be doing anything. So if Javier can go to a full Fiendsmith combo line and set up Desiree again, like you were mentioning earlier, that could be really huge for his follow-up.
I like that Fiendsmith, right? Sure.
And we have Tracked as well. Okay, this is going to be a full Fiendsmith board here.
That was a really good draw off the Chesty Cat for sure. We've got about 19 minutes left on the clock. Kai down on life points. It'll be interesting to see if he goes ahead and calls it in or decides to go the distance on this one. Because again, single elimination, the rules are a little different.
Yeah, this definitely feels like a Desiree Gambit to me, and Javier might try to also end on being able to go like GWCO 6, summon back the White Rabbit, and then use the sequence that he summons off of putting it back with Engraver to go for White Binder, banish all of Kai's follow-up, and then go Desiree, re-equip the sequence, and then attack, and go, your turn, Kai. I have a Negate plus a White Binder. Over to you.
Well, let's see what he definitely passes into. Yeah, we are going to go ahead and use the Requiem now.
Yeah, it definitely feels like we're going to go back for that sequence, for that Lacquer that we sent back earlier. We're going to use... Not going to use the Effectus? Yeah, we're going to probably send something like Paradise, something like another Engraver could be really good. There we see the Paradise. Javier is setting up his responses and all of his interactions that he might need to stop Kai from being able to do anything on the following turns.
Well, this is definitely Javier's window, right? If there were ever a time to play the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game, it's now. You're not going to get another chance to catch Kai off guard without the ability to activate any of these traps or his monster's effects.
Everything is known. He just needs to figure out what he thinks is best here for moving forward.
Yep.
Okay, here we're choosing the GWCO 6. Maybe you want to go straight into like maybe a Haggard and make a play that way. Oh, you know what? Maybe Javier thinks he has a line for going for game because if he can set up Cryptor. Dark.
Wow.
Oh my goodness, that's right. It's like he gets a Dark deck right now. Talk about stealing your opponent's monsters, and we take the lovely Labyrinth. That's pretty awesome.
That's good.
And the effect to set the trap card. And he can control Fiends in this deck. This is so cool.
That is so amazing. We didn't even think about that. We've been talking about how Javier's deck, including normal traps, is hurting him because of all the interactions with Kai. But he's like, yeah, I have normal traps too. Yeah,
this discussion really swings both sides of the table because it's a weird matchup, it's a good matchup, you want to play it, you don't want to play it, but this is so wild for him to set a free GWCO 6. Now, pay attention in the chat though, he can only activate that while he has a Fiend, which is not uncommon in a Fiendsmith deck, but he does need to make sure that he has that Fiend unless he wants to get a procedural error minor.
Yeah, unfortunately though, he has used both of his Malice Trap cards that have been in rotation this turn, so he's not going to be able to activate them again this turn, but he can keep this lovely Labyrinth the whole time if he wanted to. But here we've returned the sequence like I thought we would, and then we're going to summon out the Engraver here, and we can still go for the line that I was talking about, but we get to do it while having a lovely Labyrinth the whole time.
That is so different.
Which is pretty awesome in this deck.
Definitely different to my eye, and getting the effective lovely Labyrinth against a Labyrinth cosplayer on the YCS feature stage. Didn't have that on my bingo card.
I'm not going to lie, it's kind of a little rude, but like I'm here for it. Like I love it so much.
All's fun in love and Yu-Gi-Oh!
So the Engraver got rid of the Lady Labyrinth now that it is no longer protected and set face down. We could go for that sequence. We could go for a lot of stuff here, honestly. Like the world is Javier's oyster. I know he only has 3 zones available to him, but those 3 zones can get a lot done. Is he debating going for some damage here? I mean, may as well, right? We know the
only
set
need to
card.
do 4,000.
We know the set card is Torby, right? As well as
Yes.
Ariana.
Yeah,
It's 2,000
defense?
defense and 2,100 defense, I believe, for both of them.
Both of them certainly stacked in the defense department, but not so much that you couldn't pierce through with a monster or two. I feel like if you're going to push further, you probably want to get rid of the Fiendsmith Engraver and the Dark Charmer Gloomy for another Link summon, but you may just want to keep it as is. Javier's in the driver's seat, so let's see what he does.
There is an argument for like linking off this lovely, but I think Javier thinks he gets a lot of value out of keeping it in play, / keeping it away from Kai to be able to summon back if possible. But he really wants to go to a sequence line here, I think, if I'm Javier. Oh, we haven't used White Rabbit's effect to summon back from the banish yet, so we're going to do that this turn and get access to our Link 3s that way. Like I said, looping in White Binder into this combo right now feels really good for Javier because it just obliterates all of Kai's follow-up from the graveyard.
And with only 2 zones free, he is making that Link 3.
Plus, it also gives Javier the ability to set both of his normal trap cards again. Having MTPO7 and G6 in rotation is all the follow-up he needs. And that's going to be really good here. So yeah, we're Link 3 summoning, just to double check for everybody. And he's just deciding which Link 3 he wants to go for. I guess he could go for Red Ransom, but no, White Binder seems so good right here. I totally agree, Javier.
Just to rifle through the graveyard. Kai finally calls in his chip, so we got 14.5 minutes left on the clock to go into a third game.
Honestly, after seeing two Karma Cannon resolved against Javier in that game, I thought he was done, but he just showed the power of the Fiendsmith engine being able to extend, and had that the Dark Charmer to steal a lovely Labyrinth is definitely a play for the day for me.
Well, I guess Labyrinth won the first duel, and technically, Labyrinth won the second duel. Just Javier is the winner of this game.
Yeah. I keep wanting to call him Arius, but Kai was like, I'm not going to let my lovely hit me. Not even close.
She goes ahead and jumps down to bow to his queen. But we'll see what sort of side deck options both of them choose. Obviously, if there was anything that Kai put in for going second, that may be coming out because he gets to go first. And man, when you get to go first as a trap deck, everything feels pretty good. But Javier, you know, as a Malice player, you get used to just playing through stuff, so he may be well equipped for this. And obviously, he demonstrated he is no slouch in this duel.
Yeah, we've only seen one Malice Link monster get summoned across 2 games, but I really feel like once Javier establishes that Link 3, he'll know what to do from there in order to go for game. And Kai's whole thing is going to be, how can I stop that from happening?
And it is difficult. Sometimes there's just not anything you can do when the traps come down.
Yeah, if we had like a little advantage meter, you can tell Kai is feeling much more stable for this game 3. He has over 14 minutes. He knows he's going first. We saw how in control he was in game 1. It'll be really exciting to see how this one shapes up. I'm not really sure what Javier could maybe potentially side deck in, because I'm not sure what's in his side deck, but something like, you know, Breakers, something like the Mulcharmies to get extra draws in case we know he's playing the combo version. So he does summon quite a lot, actually, comparatively to other Labyrinth decks we've seen in the past. So there's totally a world where he can kind of out-advantage / just blow up everything Kai's trying to do.
It's true that almost every Mulcharmy works against a Labyrinth deck, right? There's plenty of special summoning from the graveyard. There's actually a little bit of special summoning from the hand. There's definitely some special summons from the deck with the Welcome Labyrinth cards. So Kai sort of is leveling out there. Javier seeming like he's doing good as he starts to get his pile shuffle on. Nice to see both duels conversing in this very incredibly tense match because, again, only one duelist may advance into the top 16.
Yeah, this game is make or break for both players here. If they win, they move forward. If they lose, they go home.
Well, he is doing what they said could not be done. Cosplayer up here on the top 32 stage.
Nobody ever believed, but now they've been proven wrong.
I guess the secret is you don't cosplay a character, you cosplay the monster card.
Honestly, that probably does give you a little bit of like a spirituality bonus for sure. Like, oh yeah, we're just perfectly in alignment, me and my deck right now.
Dual Spirit? I am the Dual Spirit. But Kai seeming like he's got a level head there and just get that final pile shuffle out.
It's always important to, when you're side decking, to make sure that you really shuffle that deck because the cards in your side deck have not been touched nearly as much as your main deck cards. And so a lot of duelists are superstitious that they're like, I really got to shuffle this because they need to be properly mixed up. And we've all had that situation where we side deck in like 6 or 7 cards and then we draw 5 of them and we're like, okay, now I can't play the game.
I didn't stir the pot quite enough. I'm sure there's some chaos theorist or quantum mechanic person who is out there like, actually, yeah, if you don't shuffle enough, it does make you draw your side deck cards.
That's too much math for me. I can barely resolve simultaneous equation cannon. Barely.
That's fair, that's fair. Looks like the duelists have presented and cut, so this game is going to go. But it's just so wild. I did not think this is how we were going to stop the top 32.
Speaking of starting the top 32, it looks like we're getting ready for this game 3. Our duelists are drawing their opening hand of 5 cards. It's going to be really exciting.
Best of luck to both duelists. They have done an incredible job showcasing why they deserve to be on this stage for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Championship Series. So let's go ahead and get into Game 3 of our top 32.
A top 16 finalist will be decided here and now. Will it be Javier or will it be Kaihuang? Good luck to both. Imagine Kai was like, no, you can go first.
Now, I saw quite a few spell cards here, so let's start off with Pot of Extravagance.
Yep, beginning of main phase 1, we're going to banish up to a maximum of 6 cards and draw 1 card for each 3.
Top or bottom? Top side.
Just going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Kai's like, let it be 2 good ones.
Well, we did lose some Chaos Angels. Showing it to the camera. Thanks. Thanks, Kai.
Of course, the cosplayer knows how to play to the show, right? Making sure we know everything.
Wow.
Ooh, but we did draw 2 purple ones, which makes our life a little bit better, probably.
Are you a purple trap person or a pink trap person? That's an age-old debate.
They're definitely purple.
Kirby discard to set from deck.
It is called Herald of Purple Light.
Very true. They were discarding an extra copy of Extravagance to use a furniture. I believe that's Stovey, but it could be Drag Linear. I'm not sure.
All right, well, looks like we're going through the deck here, and we grab a big Welcome Labyrinth. And still a decent hand. Oh, the field spell,
Ooh,
Labyrinth.
Labyrinth. Going to be able to give us some extra effects to our Welcome Labyrinth trap cards, getting them some pops. Not too shabby, but no other monster cards. Just going to be setting 3 and passing. Probably a thing Kai is more than comfortable to do.
Doesn't mean those monsters aren't coming. They could be right here. Oh, no, we're going right into the main phase, though.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's great about the field spell is it gives you almost like a Ryzel detonator level of control, right? You're not only getting your game plan on, but you do get to destroy your opponent's cards before they get to actually get materials on the field.
And here we go. Javier starting up with the Fiendsmith side of his deck, as always. Going to be sending that Engraver to the graveyard and getting tracked. This is really huge. This is definitely how you want to start off. It gives Javier access to so many resources, and again, potentially an early Desiree and a sequence.
I think I saw an Artifact Lancia in Kai's hand.
Ooh, interesting.
That's incredible there. He mentioned it earlier. He was surprised his opponent didn't have it, but I guess he drew into it, and now he might be ready to use it at a moment's notice here.
I mean, there is something to be said about, okay, first of all, Javier's grabbing Lacrima as his card off track, not Lurie, meaning he probably already has Lurie in hand, or he just really wants to normal summon this card and nothing else. We're going to be sending the Paradise from our hand to the graveyard. Very heads-up play from Javier here, getting that extra interruption already locked in.
It also means he drew it in that opening hand, so he definitely wanted to get rid of it since he wouldn't be able to with Lacrima.
100%. Now we can use Lacrima here to send another copy of Engraver. Probably would be the best option here. Just get plenty of names for rotation and follow-up. Makes a lot of sense to me, because now if we do end up going for a Desiree, we have plenty of material to summon it. And then here we can go for Requiem. Weirdly, Requiem could, in theory, I guess, summon out Lurie, or does it? You know, you can only summon Fiends with the cards, right?
That's correct. Yeah. That's correct.
I was like, no, that one doesn't. It requires Light Fiends. It doesn't summon Light Fiends.
They play well together, but not that well together.
That'd be funny if he did do that, though. All right, so here we see the Requiem going away. Gonna get the third Engraver potentially. That's the only thing I could think of that's a target. Yep, there he is, the boy.
And we know the Fiendsmith cards recycle themselves pretty well, but it also means that if there's any draws in future turns, you're not going to draw anything redundant because you've kind of used up most of your Fiendsmith engine. And this is also kind of a way to check Kai to see, you don't seem to be stopping anything. That's interesting. I guess I can keep playing.
Sure. Yeah, because Kai is definitely the most afraid of the Malice part of his deck, because the Malice part of his deck is how he's going to get enough damage to win the game this turn. All right, so here we are. We could go for a Necro Quip. We could summon the other Engraver, but we're just going to go Battle Phase and deal 1,800 to the Dome.
Looks like our life points may need to be updated there because that is first damage.
Yes, well, actually, it looks like on Detect Declaration, we're activating Welcome Labyrinth, so it's still 8K to 8K for both players, for those watching at home. But there we see the Welcome Labyrinth, which has the added extra effect of being able to pop a card now thanks to Labyrinth.
And it doesn't target, which is really going to help here.
And we have the Lady coming down.
Thinking if I want to pop. Sure.
He's considering leaving the Fiendsmith Engraver on the field and just getting rid of the Requiem. Oh, but he doesn't destroy it at all.
Interesting. Probably doesn't want to have the Requiem back in graveyard, I suppose.
And the Requiem can't do very much. We've seen how agile Lacrima is by throwing the Requiem back out and then just continuing turns from there. But it's not like you're really doing anything with the Requiem because you cannot target Lovely Lady. This might be the one time that there's an issue. Excuse me, Lady Silver the Scale.
Yes, Lady the
Silver Castle.
Yeah. Lady, they're both ladies and they're both lovely, so we can get them mixed up all the time.
Especially with the new art, by the way. I don't know if you've seen it, but she definitely gets the armor back out.
Mm-hmm. So there we see the Princess coming down. We have not used Engraver's effect to summon from the graveyard, so this could represent Caesar, it could represent Sequence.
That's good.
I believe we set back another copy of Engraver there.
He hasn't used the Destruction effect. It technically means if he has another Welcome Labyrinth card, he could choose to use it then.
Very true.
But this would be the chance to do it.
6 minutes now.
So here we go for the potential Link 2 here. Into Fiendsmith's Sequence, I would assume.
Oh, okay, I was scared.
And this gives us access to that Desiree line that I was talking about earlier. All before we're using our normal summon. Oh, no, we normal summoned Lacrima, didn't we?
We did.
All without using any Malice names, we should say. We're going to go for the Dark here, because Necro Quip is a Dark monster. We have Stovey Torby as our only target right now.
Could activate a trap to get it out of the graveyard.
We're just going to use the effect on summon here,
Activate.
and we're going to chain Big Welcome Labyrinth.
So they did save the Welcome Labyrinth effect there. The additional effect you're getting out of the Labyrinth to destroy, and I guess you can get rid of the Dark Charm or Gloomy now.
Yep, we went ahead and summoned the Torby, but then in the same effect of Big Welcome, added it back to our hand to stop the Dark Charmer from getting the extra bit of material. But because Kai did summon a monster, is he able to activate Paradise here? I don't believe so. Well, no, yeah, he can, because a monster was special summoned, right?
Well, I'm not seeing it on the field there, but yeah, I guess he is going to do it. So he banishes to send the Desiree.
Yeah, so what he did was he went Big Welcome, summoned the Torby, but then he just added the Torby back to his hand using Big Welcome.
That
so
makes
it was
sense,
still
makes sense.
special summoned. Okay. And then we have Desiree, and he's going to chain the Trap Trick to the Desiree's effect to send it to the graveyard.
So nothing really got done here. A lot of interesting plays, but able to just very swiftly dodge Javier's attempt to get rid of the face-down card with the Fiendsmith Desiree's effect. But a lot of choices here for the Trap Trick.
Yeah, Javier's just kind of forcing Kai to use all of his effects. And there we see the Trap Trick getting Dominus Impulse, banishing the other copy to the banishment, so that way he can stop any summons. If Javier does have something like a Gold Sark or a Malice and Underground or a Bestial, these impulses will be able to stop them from being summoned.
Definitely a masterclass in patience, when to hold them and when to fold them, right? We are in Texas after all, but the joke aside, not activating that effect really cornered Javier into these specific plays, and now Kai looks like he's doing good again.
Yep. Looks like Javier had no extra engines from his deck, but during the end phase, we are going to be discarding the Artifact Lancia, like you said. Normally, the really big selling point for this Bestial Malice Fiendsmith version of the deck is that you don't really lose to Lancia because you have other engines that can be played into it, like Fiendsmith, like Bestials. But Javier didn't see those, so this Lancia is no longer needed, and Kai's like, I'd rather have a trap card, so I'm going to go get that.
So, Drew, I think I saw an Ariana drawn. Labyrinth Servant.
Wow, after already using the effect to set another trap card using Stovey Torby, that's pretty big. We're going to use the effect of Big Welcome to bounce the Dark back to Javier's extra deck because we do control the Lady.
You'll get a lot of resources out of that, so.
And then we have Welcome Labyrinth being activated for the turn to summon another monster.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
We're chaining to the effect of Big Welcome Labyrinth, I see.
Wow. So just to reorganize this, activate Big Welcome Labyrinth, banish from the graveyard in order to target Dark, then chain Welcome Labyrinth because there was no response, and technically can also chain Lady Labyrinth, the Silver Castle. Bestial Baldrake is going to try to banish something from the graveyard, but we'll see Dominus Impulse to stop that. Now, Infinite Impermanence is going to chain, but you can still chain the Infinite Impermanence. Basically is triggering the Lady of the Silver Castle, so everything still came out Kai's way, expertly cornered.
So yeah, chain 6 is Lady to set, chain 5 is Imperm, negating Lady.
You know what? All is back.
Where's my lovely?
Chain 4 was the other trap card, Dominus Impulse. So Baldrake does get summoned because Imperm does resolve, therefore negating that. And then we have Welcome's effect to summon Lovely. And now we're going to, on a new chain, use Labyrinth to pop the trap card. Or sorry, the set face down for Javier.
Wow, just really skillful, and using the additional effect to finally destroy a card, almost making Javier forget that that was a thing that the field spell did.
Getting rid of GWC06 using Labyrinth.
One to pop.
And now we're going to chain Lovely to pop, and then we're going to also chain Stovey Torby and chain.
Oh, it is banished. You're correct.
Labyrinth.
Just set to the field. Sorry. So set pop.
Oh, remember, yeah, the Baldrake targeted Torby to banish.
Okay. So we'll reset the Welcome.
And now Javier literally has just a Baldrake and a Dream.
Dominus Impulse is set.
Oh, and setting the Dominus Impulse again makes it very difficult to make a comeback with Malice.
29.
Yep, so we're going to swing 29, and then we're going to swing 3K to the face.
And with 1:40 left on the clock, that is a very important 3,000 to the face indeed.
Javier's now at 5,000 life points, and Kai is representing all the resources he needs to go for game next turn. And besides the few Fiendsmith cards that Javier has in his yard, I'm not sure how much follow-up he has. So yep, he's going to go ahead and use the Requiem here. Sorry, the Lacrima to summon back the Requiem, and he's going to use the Requiem to potentially summon the Lacrima during the end phase of Kai's turn. Get another send from the deck to the graveyard. Going to be getting rid of that Engraver once again. Just maximizing his chances to draw into Malice Engine, I would assume. Here we go, the Draw of Destiny. What is it?
Summon from deck.
In draw phase, we have Welcome Labyrinth again. He'll be able to pop here if he wants to. There we see Daruba Karma Cannon because of Lady's effect to set it from the deck.
Summon pop.
And there we see Ariana, and the pop will be happening on Lacrima because of Labyrinth.
One to pop.
Just always in control.
You got it.
And then we have Lovely's Effect Ascend from the grave, and Javier scoops it up with no cards in hand and no cards in field. He has no hope of winning the game. Kaihuang advances to top 16.
Kai making history here, I think, is our very first cosplayer getting this far in the tournament. We've seen plenty of cosplayers, myself included, but this is a person who is in it to win it. Labyrinth is not a joke deck. It is a good deck, and as we see, it is having some really good results here.
Yeah, both of the games where Kaihuang went first, he was dominating, and in that game where he went second, even though he went second, he was still able to resolve 2 Daruma Karma Cannons against his opponent. That was insane.
Oh, and the crowd is here for it. There's some applause. We're not sure if you caught that on the microphone, but Kai certainly did. A smile on his face, a little gentle nod to his fans, maybe new followers he has, but just good stuff. Oh my goodness.
I mean, great dueling always deserves big hype moments like that. So if you guys are excited for Kaihuang, be sure to give him some cheers in the chat. But of course, also give some condolences to Javier. He played like an absolute master against a matchup he probably wasn't expecting for this tournament, but he was able to play the best he could, and he almost got there.
And that's always the story about the Labyrinth duelists. They just kind of, quote-unquote, sneak on in because people forget the decks that have existed for a long time. They're still good. They didn't go out of style. They're still good. But Javier did a great job there. There really wasn't anything else he could have done different, and finishing top 32 out of 1,460-odd duelists is just so incredible. So, well, we may not see him as our YCS champion for Houston, but there is no saying he may not be a YCS champion in the future.
100%. But we're going to hopefully see more from Kai later on in the tournament. It's going to be really exciting to see.
Just some incredible stuff there. I have to say, like, just watching that match is just wild because all of the different ins and outs of Labyrinth and that just incredible stuff. It shows you that, like, Malice has great strengths. It has some really cool in-archetype matchups, but just couldn't make it that time, unfortunately, for Javier.
Imagine winning a game without summoning a single card from the extra deck. Couldn't be me, but Labyrinth all the time.
I mean, it shows you there's certainly some stuff, and there's definitely other support in the future. Maybe the extra deck will go out of style. Maybe we won't have any extra deck. Jokes. But it still goes to show you that, like, we talk about this all the time. You really can't just show up and do it, and you can. So I think it's time to hear from the best, right?
Oh, potentially. It's going to be really exciting to see what they have to say. I imagine the matchup is particularly interesting for the Malice player involved, and I'm sure Kai's going to talk about how that was a matchup he really took count on how to actually counter. Really interesting. Yeah,
I have to say, just some incredible stuff there for sure, and I'm very curious, you know, how early did Kai have to wake up to get the full outfit on? Everybody else is just like, oh, it's just a certain time. I'll just wake up and I'll get here. That's a certain process for sure.
Well, why don't we hear from the man himself and throw over to Jackie to see what Kai has to say.
Thank you so much, Stevens, and congratulations to Kai. Okay, I see you holding up that card. It's you. Yes, you're cosplaying Arius, using that Arius energy, getting this win. Describe to me the emotions you're feeling because, oh my gosh, you're moving on.
I love Yu-Gi-Oh! And when you play your pet deck, your favorite deck, and you win at such a high level, there is no greater feeling in the world. It's, you know, I could have played Malice, I could have played Ryziel, but I think if you're going to try to make if you're gonna try to do something good, perform a miracle. Do this. There's no better feeling than winning with the underdog, guys.
You're getting claps, and I'm getting emotional for some reason. Yes. Oh my gosh, I love the energy. Thanks for the claps, everybody. Everyone really excited for you. I do want to pick your brain a little bit more about this affinity that you have for the Labyrinth deck. So tell me why.
It's not actually the cards, really. It's the play style. I love Labyrinth is one of the most fair decks in the game. One card does not equal 3 cards. I have to discard a card to summon from the deck, and it loses to Ash Blossom. So I like that the deck is fair, and it also plays on your opponent's turn. I don't have to watch my opponent make watch a movie, basically, watch them make a combo. I could just stop them.
Also the aesthetic, though.
And then I grew to love the aesthetic. Yes.
And then you told me this cosplay cost you hundreds, right?
Yes, it did.
Tailor-made?
It is tailor-made. Shout out to, I don't know what their name is, but really nice tailor. I had to buy the fabric. I gave them like my measurements, and they made it for me. It's so crazy, yeah. Everyone loves this. Everyone.
We love it. Actually, one of the Stevens was saying, like, that took real commitment. You had to wake up early to make sure you got in your cosplay and everything, so. But you're channeling that energy. You're doing fantastic. Do you have a game plan for the rest of the tournament?
So I came in to this tournament trying to. I think the best deck is Malice, and this deck has the best going second matchup into Malice because your Imperms, your Nibiru's are not going to stop Malice. Daruma Cannon will. So that's why I'm playing this deck. Into Ryziel, I have a fantastic matchup. Into Fiendsmith Ryziel, they just have to high roll me, so I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm just going to high roll them back.
I don't even want to ask this. It seemed like you were feeling confident despite the matchup with Malice.
No, so I like the matchup.
You did? Okay, elaborate.
Yeah, I played 3 Dominus Impulse, and Daruma Counter Cannon is a very strong. He's also playing Fiendsmith. He has to sequence things differently, so as long as you know, well, he did Brick, but as long as you know his lines, you should be able to stop them, if you have enough cards.
Okay, Kai, is there anything that you want to say to everyone watching? You had some people clapping and waving earlier.
Thank you to everyone. Thank you to the live stream staff. I just want everyone to know, never stop believing.
Oh my gosh. Okay, fantastic interview. Thank you so much, Kai. Back to our casters.